Cinematic wide shot, winter 1285. Carpathian mountain passes covered in thick snow. Jagged peaks under a heavy, gray sky. Dark, atmospheric historical realism. Close-up of Hungarian scouts in fur-lined cloaks and iron helmets, squinting through a blizzard, their horses huffing steam into the cold air. Hyper-detailed textures. Silhouette of Mongol horsemen appearing on a snowy ridge, distant and menacing. Faint golden light breaking through clouds.
Épique, moody composition.
Flashback. A desolate Hungarian landscape in 1241. A ruined church in the background. A field of simple wooden crosses. Grim, washed-out colors. Burning Hungarian village at night. Embers flying into the dark sky. The silhouette of a Mongol rider on a small, sturdy horse in the foreground. King Bela IV, exhausted and wounded, riding hard along a rocky Adriatic coastline. Waves crashing against the cliffs. Dramatic lighting, high contrast. Portrait of Mongol commander Nogai Khan, eyes sharp and calculating. He wears heavy silk and fur, with a traditional Mongol hat.
Intricata jewelry detail.
Portrait of Talabuga Khan, looking over a tactical map made of parchment. Dim candlelight, smoky atmosphere, stern expression. A time-lapse style shot of a small wooden tower being replaced by a massive stone citadel. Scaffolding, workers, and heavy stones. Bright, hopeful morning light. A secret meeting in a stone chamber. King Bela IV pointing at a blueprint for a new fortress. Dust motes dancing in sunbeams. Cinematic depth of field. A massive Mongol war machine, a trebuchet, being pulled across the Eurasian steppe. Thousands of soldiers following. Wide-angle, epic scale. Spring night, 1241. The Hungarian camp near the Sejo River. Tents illuminated by campfires. Reflections of fire in the water. Hungarian nobles in silk and mail armor, laughing and drinking from ornate wine chalices. Warm, flickering firelight, joyful but oblivious mood. View from the bridge at Sejo River. Fallen Mongol scouts in the mud. The bridge is made of heavy timber. Cold moonlight. A lone scout looking toward the dark forest, holding a torch. The light reveals nothing, but the mood is tense. High-detail facial expression. Subutai, the Mongol general, standing on a hill at night. He is shrouded in shadow, his eyes fixed on the Hungarian camp. Masterful strategist aesthetic. Mongol riders crossing a river in the pre-dawn mist. 30,000 men moving with eerie silence. Water splashing softly. Desaturated blue tones. A volley of fire arrows arcing across the black night sky. The trails of fire reflecting in the river. Dramatic wide-angle shot. A primitive gunpowder bomb exploding inside a Hungarian tent. Bright orange flash. Debris flying. Panicked soldiers in silhouette. The Hungarian camp in chaos. Men scrambling for weapons while the tents burn. The gate of the camp is choked with people. High-action motion blur. Mongol heavy cavalry charging through the smoke of the burning camp. Lances leveled, terrifying masks, sparks from horse hooves. Low-angle shot. King Bela IV, face covered in soot and blood, looking back at the carnage of the Sejo River. Despair in his eyes. Rain starting to fall. Bela IV holding his dying brother Koloman. Both are in battered plate armor. A somber, candlelit forest glade. Emotional close-up. The dead Archbishop of Kalaksa lying on the battlefield. His vestments stained red. Broken banners around him. Somber, cold sunrise lighting. Bata Khan, surrounded by his elite bodyguards, fighting off Hungarian knights. Swords clashing, blood on the snow. Intense historical action. Panoramic view of the Sejo battlefield at dawn. Tens of thousands of bodies scattered across the mud. Smoke rising from the camp. Hauntingly beautiful tragedy. A Mongol soldier systematically burning a granary in a small village. Other soldiers driving peasants into the cold woods. Harsh, realistic lighting. The chronicler Roger of Tori Majori hiding in a cave, frantically writing in a scroll by the light of a small ember. Fear and urgency. Archaeological dig site showing a layer of charcoal and human bones. Modern tools next to ancient ruins. Scientific, high-detail lighting. Wide shot of the castle of Esztergom standing tall on a hill while the surrounding land is blackened. Defiance in stone. Heroic lighting. Mongol soldiers looking up at the massive stone walls of a castle. Their siege engines look small and ineffective. Perspective shot from the ground looking up. Inside the castle. A deep stone well with clear water. A soldier drawing a bucket. Safe, cool, interior lighting. Mongol horses grazing on dry grass while their riders look impatiently at a castle. The Mongol army is built for speed, not stationary sieges. Wide landscape. A wooden palisade being easily crushed by a Mongol battering ram. Splintering wood. Fire and chaos. Comparison of weak versus strong defense. King Bela IV in 1242, watching the dust clouds of the retreating Mongol army. He is standing on a stone parapet, looking east. Determined gaze. Desolate landscape of Hungary in 1243. Cracked earth. Skeletal remains of trees. No life in sight. Looks like the surface of the moon. Eerie lighting. Bela IV sitting at a table with maps and architectural drawings. He is older, wiser, and deeply focused. Soft, golden hour light through a window. Bela IV handing a royal charter to a local baron. In the background, masons are beginning to stack stone blocks. Symbol of decentralization. A massive construction site of a stone castle. Hundreds of workers, oxen pulling sleds of stone. The skeleton of a tower rising.
Énergétique, busy composition.
Close-up of a mason's hands carving a groove into a massive stone block. Sweat and grit. Professional craftsmanship aesthetic. The thick wall of a new castle. A soldier standing next to it to show the scale. The wall is 3 meters thick. Solid, immovable stone. Interior of a gatehouse gate looking down through a murder hole. A view of the heavy iron portcullis. Intimidating military architecture. Wide landscape shot showing a line of castles on hilltops across the Hungarian horizon. Each is visible to the next. Strategic network. The move to Castle Hill. A long line of wagons and people crossing the Danube toward the new stone walls of Buda. Dramatic river crossing. Buda from a high angle. A city on a hill, surrounded by white stone walls, reflecting in the Danube. A symbol of strength and commerce. Light cavalry horse archers practicing. They are fast, but their leather armor is thin. Comparison shot. Dusty, sun-drenched field. A Knight Templar in full plate armor, white mantle with a red cross. He is a giant of steel compared to the light cavalry. High contrast metal reflections. Knights Hospitaller training Hungarian nobles. Knights in black mantles showing how to hold a heavy lance. Military school atmosphere. A Hungarian noble being fitted for a full suit of Western-style plate armor. The clinking of steel, the shine of the breastplate. Wealth and power. A group of 10 lance nobles on horseback, all in matching heavy armor. They look like a wall of steel. Symmetrical and imposing composition. A peasant family hauling a massive limestone slab up a muddy hill toward a castle site. Determination and shared sacrifice. Gritty realism. King Bela IV looking old but proud, standing in the courtyard of a finished stone fortress. The wind blowing his cape. Late afternoon sun. The porcupine of stone. A conceptual shot of Hungary covered in glowing dots representing castles. A map that turns into a landscape. Winter 1285. A massive Mongol army, 100,000 strong, moving through a dark, frozen forest. The scale is overwhelming. Epic wide shot. Nogai Khan and Talabuga Khan riding side by side. They look confident and arrogant. Their armor is ornate, their banners fluttering in the wind. Young King Ladislaus IV in a heated argument with his barons in a stone hall. Tension and political turmoil. Low-key lighting. Mongol scouts observing a Hungarian town from a distance. They expect wooden walls but see stone. Confusion in their expressions. 2 columns of Mongol cavalry diverging in the snow, one heading north, one south. A strategic split. Top-down tactical view. The northern Carpathian Pass choked with deep snow. Mongol horses struggling to move, some collapsing. Harsh, white-out conditions. Starving Mongol soldiers huddled around a small fire, trying to eat frozen leather. Their faces are sunken. Desperate, cold atmosphere. The empty city of Piast. Buildings are silent, doors hanging open. No one in sight. Smoke from a few fires. Ghost town aesthetic. Talabuga Khan watching the city of Piast burn. He looks angry, realizing there is no food or plunder. Fire reflecting in his eyes. The walls of Buda under attack. Mongol catapults launching stones that shatter against the massive masonry. High-action siege shot. Hungarian archers behind stone battlements, raining arrows down on Mongol attackers. Systematic, calm defense. Crossbows and longbows. A Mongol battering ram striking a reinforced gate. The gate doesn't budge. Dust falling from the archway. Power and resistance. Mongols trying to fill a castle moat with bundles of sticks, fascines, under heavy arrow fire. Bodies piling up in the water.
Gritty combat.
Inside Buda. Soldiers sitting by a warm hearth, eating bread and drinking water. They are safe and well-fed. Contrast with the starving Mongols outside. A squad of Hungarian heavy cavalry sallying out from a side gate. They hit a Mongol supply line with devastating force. Motion-heavy action. Armored Hungarian horses crashing through Mongol light cavalry. The Mongols are being trampled by the weight of the steel. Brutal impact. The Saxon fortress of Bon Mykod in Transylvania. A lone castle surrounded by dense, dark forests. A landscape of isolation and defense. Nogai Khan frustrated, looking at a small but impregnable stone fort. His men are tired and cold. Dramatic lighting, long shadows. A Mongol camp at night, suddenly attacked by Sakeli guerrillas emerging from the trees. Chaos, shouting, and flickering torchlight. Hungarian villagers driving cattle deep into a hidden mountain valley. They leave nothing for the invaders. Strategic retreat. A Mongol soldier opening an empty grain chest in a captured village. He looks desperate. Dust and cobwebs. Symbol of logistical failure. Mongol soldiers eating their own horses in a snowy camp. The horses are skeletal. A grim, dark turning point in the campaign. King Ladislaus IV leading the Royal Hungarian Army. A sea of shining plate armor and colorful banners. The sun reflecting off thousands of spears. The battle near Piast. Hungarian knights charging a disorganized, thin line of Mongol infantry. Total military dominance. Cinematic wide shot. Mongol survivors fleeing through a narrow mountain pass, being picked off by Sakeli archers from the cliffs above. Verticality and ambush. Talabuga Khan riding a skeletal horse, his armor tattered, looking back at his ruined army. The pride of the Mongols is broken. Melancholy lighting. Nogai's column being ambushed in a forest by local militias. He is forced to retreat, his face full of bitter defeat. Action-packed forest scene. A side-by-side comparison of 1241, burning wood, and 1285, standing stone. A visual summary of the strategic evolution. Conceptual art. A Mongol hammer shattering against a mountain of granite. Epic metaphorical imagery. Close-up of a Hungarian father telling the story of 1241 to his son by a fireplace. The son looks at his father's sword. Legacy of preparation. A single Hungarian soldier standing guard on a massive stone wall, looking at the setting sun. Peace through strength. Heroic posture. The Mongol aura of invincibility, breaking. A Mongol banner falling into the mud and being stepped on by a heavy boot. Symbolic close-up. King Bela Ivy's tomb in a grand stone cathedral. Sunlight hitting the effigy. He is remembered as the savior. Reverent, peaceful lighting. A 16th century Ottoman Turkish army approaching the same stone castles built by Bela IV. Continuity of defense. Epic historical scale. A modern scholar in a library, looking at a map of Hungary's medieval forts. The map is complex and dense. Knowledge and strategy. A Finnish soldier in the winter of 1939, using a similar defensive mindset. Contrast of eras but same strategy. Cold, snowy realism. A modern defensive line showing the concept of strategic quagmire. Overlapping fields of fire. professional military aesthetic. A Mongol horseman from 1241 looking at a burning village. Then a cut to a Hungarian knight from 1285 looking at a standing castle. The refusal to die. Final cinematic shot. The sun rising over a modern Hungarian castle ruin on a hill. A bird flies past. Beautiful, timeless, and resilient. A close-up of Mongol horse hooves galloping through deep, slushy snow. The sound of heavy breathing and rhythmic thumping. High-detail motion. The Hungarian court in 1285. High-vaulted stone ceilings, dim torchlight, and faces of nobles etched with worry. Gothic historical style. A Mongol rider pulling back a bowstring, the wood creaking. Focus on the eye through the gap in the bow. Intensely sharp focus. A medieval map of Hungary being slowly covered by 100 small stone towers. The towers are animated and glow. Infographic style. The Sejo River Bridge at midnight. A thick fog rolling over the water, hiding the approaching Mongols. Eerie, silent atmosphere. Inside a Hungarian tent. A fallen wine cup spilling red liquid onto a tactical map. Symbolism of lost victory. Low angle. A Mongol warrior's face illuminated by a sudden gunpowder explosion. Fear and fury. High-contrast lighting, sparks in the air. The gates of the Hungarian camp buckling under the weight of a panicked crowd. Shadows and silhouettes in the firelight. Dramatic tension. Mongol archers on horseback, firing backward while galloping. The famous Parthian shot. Mastery of horseback archery. Dusty golden light. King Bela IV on a small boat, crossing the Adriatic Sea. He is looking back at the burning coastline of his kingdom. Epic lonely shot. Batu Khan's golden tent in the Mongol camp. Luxury in the middle of a war zone. Silk, gold, and fine rugs. Rich, warm lighting. A lone Hungarian survivor wandering through a field of ash where a village once stood. A single stone chimney remains. Desolate and somber. The thick stone walls of Pannonhalma Abbey. The monks looking down from the heights at the Mongol scouts. Religious and military fusion. A Mongol trebuchet arm snapping as it tries to launch a stone too heavy for it. Siege failure.
Detailed mechanical destruction.
Mongol horses trying to eat the bark off trees because the grass is gone. Animal desperation. Gritty, cold textures. The Great Khan Ogdi's funeral procession in Mongolia. Imagined. Thousands of horsemen in mourning. Epic scale, distant horizon. Bela IV in a ruined throne room. Sunlight streaming through a hole in the roof. He is picking up his crown from the dust. Resurrection theme. A scribe's hand writing the royal decree on vellum. Build stone castles in ornate calligraphy. Close-up, ink and parchment. A busy stone quarry. Workers splitting huge blocks of rock with hammers and wedges. Physical labor and industrial scale. Dusty, sunlit scene. A knight's heavy iron helmet with a narrow eyelet. The reflection of a stone castle in the metal. High-detail surface reflections. The layout of Buddha on Castle Hill. Ornate Gothic houses protected by high, white stone walls. A secure and beautiful capital. Aerial view. A Knight Templar and a Hungarian noble exchanging a sword. The passing of Western military knowledge. Symbolic brotherhood in arms. A group of peasants and soldiers sharing a meal of stew inside a castle courtyard. Unity and morale. Warm, friendly evening light. A panoramic time-lapse, style painting of the Hungarian border, showing castles appearing one by one like a protective shield. Mythic art style. Winter 1285. A Mongol horse slipping on an icy path and falling into a ravine. The harshness of the Carpathian winter. Cold, blue shadows. The empty markets of Pest. Wind blowing straw across the cobblestones. The city is a trap of silence. Cinematic, lonely wide shot. A Mongol fire arrow sticking into a stone wall and burning out harmlessly. The futility of their traditional weapons. Close-up. A Hungarian knight in heavy plate, standing on his stirrups, preparing to charge. The heavy metal horse armor is visible. Power and weight. Guerrilla warriors hiding in the dense Transylvanian undergrowth, watching a Mongol patrol pass by. Tension and camouflage. Forest floor perspective. A secret cellar filled with sacks of grain, hidden under a forest floor. Scorched earth tactics visual. Dark, earthy interior. A Mongol soldier looking at a dead dog with a look of starving desperation. The reality of war's cruelty. Gritty, dark realism. The Royal Hungarian army banners, showing the double cross and the arpit stripes, waving in the wind. Patriotic and military pride. Bright, clear sky. The retreat. A long line of bedraggled Mongol soldiers walking through the snow, leaving their gear behind. The end of an empire's ambition. Wide shot. Conceptual. A stone wall slowly turning into a map of Europe, showing the Mongol advance stopping at Hungary. Historical atlas style. King Bela IV looking out from a balcony at a prosperous, stone-built city. He is the architect of a new nation. Majestic, late-reign portrait. A modern castle ruin in Hungary with the stars visible above it. The endurance of stone through the centuries. Dreamy, long exposure photography style. A comparison shot of a light Mongol bow and a heavy Hungarian crossbow. The evolution of military hardware. Technical, high-detail focus. A group of modern students looking at a medieval castle, listening to the story. History coming alive. Educational and inspiring mood. The second founder Bela IV, standing amidst the stone ruins of the 1241 invasion, holding a small stone model of a castle. Symbolic and artistic. A Mongol horseman's shadow falling over a stone wall. He is a ghost of the past, unable to enter. Poetic and moody lighting. A heavy iron portcullis slamming shut. The sound is almost visible in the vibration of the dust. Powerful, industrial medieval aesthetic. The Danube River in winter, with chunks of ice floating past. The stone walls of Buda reflecting in the cold water. Serene and strong. A close-up of a knight's spurs, silver and sharp, digging into the side of a horse. The start of the charge. Intense action focus. The golden horizon of the Great Steppe, where the Mongols originated. A sense of the vast distance they traveled. Epic orange and gold landscape. King Bela IV writing a letter by the light of a single candle. His face is aged but his hand is steady. Close-up on the quill and ink. A stone castle's silhouette against a moonlit sky. It looks like a tooth of the earth. Intimidating and protective. Mongol soldiers in 1285, shivering in their silk undershirts. They were not prepared for the deep European winter. Blue, shivering atmosphere. The smoke of a single signaling fire on a distant hilltop. The warning system of the castle network. Cinematic, far-reaching depth. A Hungarian blacksmith forging a heavy broadsword. The orange glow of the forge, sparks flying. The rhythmic strike of the hammer. High-detail metalwork. A wide-angle shot of a lush Hungarian valley in summer 1270. Castles are visible on the hills, crops in the fields. A kingdom restored. Vibrant colors. The face of a young Sakeli archer. His breath visible in the cold. His eyes fixed on a target. Focus and precision. Portrait style. A Mongol banner being shredded by the wind in a high mountain pass. Symbol of their tattered dreams of conquest. Dramatic and symbolic. King Ladislaus IV in his royal armor, looking over the battlefield after the victory. The sun is setting behind him. Heroic and regal. A close-up of stone masonry showing the moss and age, but also the strength. The foundation of a nation. Macro photography style. The concept of national determination. A group of diverse Hungarians, noble, peasant, monk, standing together before a stone wall. Cinematic and symbolic. A golden crown sitting on a red velvet cushion, with a stone castle visible in the background window. The power of the state protected by stone. A fast-paced montage of Mongol riders galloping, then hitting a stone wall, then falling. The rhythm of the war. Action-oriented imagery. Final high-angle shot. A vast landscape of Hungary today, with the ancient stone castles still standing as silent sentinels. Peace, history, and endurance.